When you hear the words, a dangerous person, what's the first image that pops into your head? Probably someone loud, aggressive, maybe someone flipping a table, right? Well, today we're gonna flip that idea on its head. The truly dangerous person, they're the one who's silent, the one who watches, who understands, and then they choose their moment. We're about to explore the 7 signs that you might be becoming that person and what that incredible transformation actually means.
Okay, let's dive right in with this foundational idea from Friedrich Nietzsche. This quote, it isn't about fearing violence, not at all. It's about respecting the immense power of someone who has actually faced their own inner turmoil. You know, that internal chaos we all have. It's about the person who has looked their own darkness square in the eye and learned how to master it.
So let me ask you straight up, are you becoming this person? And I don't mean becoming a threat. This is about evolving into a version of yourself that can't be easily controlled, can't be easily figured out. It's a journey that, yeah, it might be uncomfortable. It's gonna force you to face parts of yourself you've been avoiding.
So here's the roadmap for our discussion. First, we're gonna completely redefine what it means to be dangerous. Then, we'll talk about the power of silence and how you start to see behind people's masks. After that, we get into the deep stuff, befriending your inner self, learning how to let go of what's holding you back, and finally, finding a purpose that makes you, well, truly formidable.
Okay, first things first, let's completely shatter that old, outdated image. True power, true danger, it isn't about making a lot of noise. It's about presence. It's about control.
So here's the key takeaway. Real power doesn't have to announce itself. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It's felt in the silence, in the way you carefully observe a room, in that deep understanding that you don't have to win every single argument. Your presence alone becomes the statement.
And that leads us perfectly into the very first sign of this transformation. It's this massive shift in how you use your energy, where you learn that silence is your new default setting.
So, for sign number 1, just think about how you used to be. Someone would insult you or challenge you, and what happened? You'd react instantly. You'd jump to defend yourself, you'd argue, you'd try to prove them wrong. But now, something's changed, hasn't it? Someone says something and you just listen. There's no knee-jerk reaction, no frantic defense. You've realized that not every battle is worth your energy. Your silence has become a shield and a powerful tool for observation.
And this just nails Nietzsche's point. By mastering your own impulses, you become uncommandable. Your silence isn't a sign of weakness, it's calculated. And honestly, it's unnerving to other people because they can't figure you out. And what people don't understand, they often fear.
Okay, on to the second sign. As you've become quieter on the outside, something amazing has happened on the inside. Your powers of observation have gotten incredibly sharp, and you've literally started to see the world in a whole new way.
It's like this. You used to take people at their word. You just took everything at face value. Now you see the performance.
You're not just listening to their words anymore. You're watching their energy. You're reading their body language, noticing that little flicker in their eyes. You've become a student of human nature, and you can't help but see that gap, the one between the mask people show the world and who they really are underneath. You can just tell who's genuine and who isn't.
All right, this next section is absolutely pivotal. It covers 2 separate but deeply connected signs of your evolution. It's about stopping the search for applause from the outside world and starting to accept the complexities, even the darkness, on the inside.
So, the third sign is that your craving for external validation, it just starts to fade away. Remember when you needed the likes, the praise, the recognition to feel good?
That hunger is pretty much gone now. You go to the gym for yourself. You learn a new skill for yourself. You improve for yourself. Nietzsche had a term for this, Amor Fati, a love of one's fate. It's not just about accepting your path. It's about falling in love with it, struggles and all. You're in love with the process of becoming, not the applause at the finish line.
And you know, that leads us directly to the 4th sign, which this might be the most profound one of all.
This is so rare. Most people run from their dark side. They pretend it doesn't exist. But you've faced it. You've acknowledged that yes, you have the capacity for anger, for aggression, even for manipulation. And right there, in that acknowledgement, you make a conscious choice not to be that person. This isn't being naively good. This is disciplined strength. You know exactly what you could do, and that is precisely why you don't.
Now, when you have this kind of inner transformation,
it's inevitable that your outer world is going to change too. And that brings us to the fifth sign, how you handle your relationships.
Your circle gets smaller, but the quality of it gets so much deeper. You stop giving people second, third, and fourth chances.
You establish firm boundaries, and when someone crosses them, you don't get into a big fight, you don't write a long text explaining yourself. You just create distance, silently, permanently. And yeah, people are often shocked by how easily you can walk away, but that's because you finally learned to protect your peace at all costs. And here we are, the culmination of this entire journey. This last section covers the final 2 signs, and they're all about how you engage with life itself, your relationship with failure, and your connection to a much deeper purpose.
So, the 6th sign is this complete reframing of what it even means to fail. What's so interesting here is the shift in perspective. Failure used to feel like the end of the world, right? It was devastating, it was embarrassing, but now you see it for what it really is. It's just feedback. It's data. It's a lesson telling you what didn't work so you can try a better way next time. You are no longer afraid to fail.
You have actually lived this quote. You've been broken by failure, in relationships, in your career, and every single time you've rebuilt yourself, stronger, wiser, more formidable. And that fearlessness, it makes you practically unstoppable.
And it's that resilience that gives rise to the final and most transformative sign of them all.
You're finding your why. This isn't about having power over other people. This is what Nietzsche called the will to power. That fundamental drive to achieve mastery over yourself, to realize your absolute full potential. Once you have a clear purpose, you just don't get distracted by trivial things anymore. You have something worth fighting for. So just take a moment. As you're listening to all this, how many of these signs do you really recognize in yourself? Maybe it's all of them, maybe it's just a few. Maybe you're just at the beginning of this path. But you know what? The fact that you're even asking these questions means you are on your way. Let's end on this. When you have a why, a real reason to live, a core purpose, you can endure almost anything life decides to throw at you. This is the ultimate source of your strength. This is what makes you truly dangerous.
If you see yourself in these signs, then you're on a path that very few people dare to walk. It's the path of self-mastery. So the question now isn't if you're dangerous, it's what are you going to build with that power?